Stop what you are doing and listen, truly listen, for if you miss what I am about to share, you may spend the rest of your life as a servant when you were born, to reign the difference between the man who shapes the world according to his will and the man who is shaped by it is not fortune, is not ability, it is the way he thinks, and more precisely, it is what he believes. I am not here to motivate you. I am not here to entertain you. I am here to awaken you. You carry within you the power to summon wealth, position, greatness, and authority over your circumstances, but only if you first take hold of the one thing that governs all others, your mind. These words will not merely reach your ears, they will speak to your soul. If you will receive them, you shall come to understand that the invisible laws that rule success are not concealed from you. They are waiting for your belief, your obedience, your declaration. Do not skip, do not drift, do not turn away. Here, every word for repetition is the channel through which faith is forged. Let these words penetrate your subconscious until they no longer feel like another man's, but your own. That is when the world will begin to yield not to me, but to you. Now fix your mind for when you think as if nothing is beyond reach, when you believe as if the outcome is already secured, and when you act as if the world is bound to comply. It will, the instant you receive this truth. The laws of success will no longer be distant. They will be yours to wield. Part 1. The hidden power behind your thoughts. If you do not yet hold what you desire, it is because you have not yet accepted that you are worthy of it. The world is not working against you. It is reflecting you. It mirrors not your capacity, but your prevailing belief. If you carry doubt, hesitation, or fear, the world will hand you conditions built from those very states. But if you saturate your mind with belief, decision, and purpose, you will direct the world to serve you. You are not the prisoner of your circumstances. You are their architect. But your instruments are unseen, your thoughts, your convictions, your inner voice. A man grows into what he believes, for belief is thought united with emotion and resolve. Dominating thoughts, once charged with feeling and repeated with certainty, sink into the subconscious, and from that place they are converted into the fabric of reality that is not philosophy, that is principle. There is no sorcery in this. There is no riddle. The great secret of every man who ever rose is that he selected his thoughts, deliberately backed them with faith, and guarded them with persistence. He did not leave belief to accident. He made belief a practice. When I tell you the world yields to the man who moves as though nothing is beyond him, I do not speak of fantasy. I speak of precise thinking aimed at a definite purpose through the law of belief. You may labor long hours. You may strain and strive and give everything, but if your thoughts are scattered and your belief is hollow, your results will fail you, for the subconscious does not answer to effort, it answers to certainty. It responds to what you hold as already yours. That is why belief, when united with definiteness, is mightier than labor. Alone, effort without belief is spent energy. Belief without movement is idle dreaming. But belief joined with decision is force. There is a wide gulf between the man who wishes and the man who believes. One hopes in shadows, the other knows in light. One waits for the world to give permission. The other moves without asking. One demands proof before committing. The other commits and compels the world to produce the proof the world does not honor. The man who waits. It honors the man who declares wishing is frailty, but belief reinforced by decision is an unstoppable current. And so I place this truth in your hands. I am the master of my belief. What I believe with feeling and pursue with resolve becomes my reality. Say it aloud not once, but every morning, every night, until your mind stops resisting, until your words, your bearing, and your conduct all proclaim it without hesitation. Speak it until doubt withdraws. Speak it until you grow into what you speak. The tongue directs the subconscious, and belief is the force that drives it. If you waver, the world wavers. If you believe, the world bends. You must now tear down the walls within you. Every excuse, every flinch, every whisper that says this cannot work for me is a falsehood. You inherited. You were not born carrying that doubt. It was handed to you by those who abandoned their own greatness. Now is the moment to refuse it. Strip it from your mind. As you would pull thorns from fertile soil, replace every inner retreat with this declaration. It is mine because I have chosen it. Part 2. The faith that governs conditions. Faith is not a quiet thing. It is not a dim flicker or a cautious wish. It is the mind's absolute decree that what I hold within me shall become what stands around me. Faith is strength. It is flame. It is the current that propels men to reshape the world, not because evidence supports it, but because they have declared it must be so. Faith is not delivered to you. You construct it through what you speak, what you feel, and what you rehearse. It is the supreme alchemy of the mind, the force that breathes life into thought without it. Your aim has no pulse with it. Your intention becomes a command that nothing can withstand. You do not sit and wait for faith to find you. You do not demand that the world offer proof before you choose to believe. That is not faith, that is fear, wearing the coat of reason. You resolve to believe, you voice it, you live it, and the conviction will follow. And once it comes, it must be protected, deepened, and aimed at your definite chief aim. That is how ordinary men raise extraordinary empires. Look at Henry Ford, a man without engineering credentials, without institutional backing, without a path already cleared. He envisioned the V8 engine and commanded that it be made. His engineers declared it could not be done. He said, build it regardless. For months they brought him nothing but failure. And each time he replied, try again. Why? Because his faith was absolute. He had already seen it in the chambers of his mind. He believed without apology, and the world surrendered to his certainty. Ford never softened his belief. He did not bargain with uncertainty. He did not yield to what logic insisted could not be. He sent a command from the interior of his conviction and stood firm without retreat. That is faith, not in others, not in circumstances, but in the authority of thought backed by unwavering resolve. He never questioned whether it could be done. He moved as if it was already finished, and it was faith labors harder than fear ever will. But it does not work in darkness. It travels with sight. It perceives what is not yet visible. It speaks of what has not yet appeared. It steps into the future already, wearing the garments of present certainty. The man who moves in faith requires no applause, no confirmation, no outside reassurance. He operates from an interior law, and life adjusts to him because he has submitted himself to his purpose. The great failure of most men is not that they reach too far and fall short, but that they never extend their hand at all. They wait for omens, for certainty, for the applause of others before they commit, but the man of faith has already committed from within and needs no external signal. He moves with authority because he has settled the matter inside himself. Part 3. Nothing is impossible to the mind that believes impossibility is not a feature of the world. It is a statement made by a man who has surrendered command of his own thinking when a man declares it cannot be done. What he is truly confessing is, I have decided not to believe, and because belief opens the gate to action, that man stands still, never building, never climbing, never arriving. He is conquered in the privacy of his own thought. The subconscious mind holds no prejudice. It does not challenge you when you speak of great things. It does not weigh the probability of your goals. It receives what is offered. If you bring it, repetition charged with emotion. It produces accordingly, whether that input is faith or terror, purpose or confusion, abundance or scarcity. It receives and it begins to construct recall. Thomas Edison, the man who brought light to the world, he did not arrive with the finest education or the deepest resources. He arrived with a single possession, sufficient for all, a consuming desire, and an unbreakable conviction that what he sought existed and would be found across 10,000 attempts. He encountered only resistance. Yet not once did he receive the verdict of defeat. He said, I have not failed. I have identified 10,000 approaches that do not lead there. And with every such discovery, his belief grew stronger. He lived as though the answer was already his, and his mind followed that command to its conclusion. This is not fortune. This is not coincidence. This is the law of the mind made visible. You need not be an inventor, but the law is the same. Hold your aim with the fire Edison carried and believe in its fulfillment before the world can see it, and the world will arrange itself in service of your vision. You require not many gifts, only one belief fused with endurance, and the world will answer. Now, hear this warning. There are forces that steal this power. They arrive not as strangers, but as familiar voices within your own thinking. They are the 6 fears: poverty, criticism, illness, loss of love, age, and death. The 2 that most threaten the man of belief are the fear of judgment and the fear of want. The first silences your declaration, the second shrinks your vision. But if you permit either to take residence, you fracture the current of faith. So watch the gate of your mind, allow only what strengthens your purpose, speak only what builds your conviction. Say not, I hope, say not, perhaps, say, I am. Say, it is settled. Say, this belongs to me, and move in that spirit. Part 4. The mental ritual that transforms existence. You do not draw to yourself what you desire. You draw what you have inwardly prepared to receive. And that preparation does not begin in the outer world. It begins in thought. The man who waits for his surroundings to shift before he shifts himself will remain exactly where he stands. But the man who alters himself first, who inhabits the future before it has materialized, commands events to follow his interior example. You must carry yourself in thought, in speech, and in bearing like the man who has already claimed the prize. Write your definite chief aim as though it stands complete. Do not write, I intend to become right. I am, do not write, I wish to possess, right, I now hold it. Make your language absolute, uncompromising, unshakable. Then lift that declaration and read it aloud twice every day at dawn and before sleep. Read it with fire, with vision, with the certainty of one who already holds what he has named, until belief is no longer an effort but a reflex. Consider Andrew Carnegie. He did not raise steel through force alone. He raised it through belief. He regarded every man around him as though that man had already reached his greatest height, and those men grew to fill the image Carnegie held of them. This is the quiet law. When you conduct yourself as though something is already so long enough, reality conforms to your insistence. The man who carries himself as though he has been broken speaks with apology, moves with reluctance, and retreats from difficulty. The man who carries himself as though he has already prevailed speaks with steadiness, advances with composure, and moves toward resistance without hesitation. These postures are not accidental. They are the outward expression of inward belief. Choose now which man you will inhabit, and if fear still lingers, if doubt still clings, move regardless for motion. Sustained will defeat uncertainty. There is no remedy for hesitation equal to action. You do not wait until you feel ready to act with authority. You build authority by acting, and each act of faith deposits evidence in your mind that you are the man you have declared yourself to be, and gradually, irresistibly, that man emerges. Part 5. What the subconscious receives and obeys. There exists one dominion over which your authority is total, and that is the landscape of your own mind. This is the foundation upon which every lasting achievement has been raised. Your subconscious is the unseen builder of your life, but it requires direction. It does not generate thought, it receives it. It does not separate truth from falsehood or possibility from limitation. It accepts the impression you deliver with feeling and repetition, and it builds from that material plant certainty, and certainty will grow. Plant fear, and fear will multiply. The soil does not negotiate, it does not resist, it obeys. When 2 or more minds converge in true harmony upon a shared and definite aim, a force is released that exceeds what any single mind could generate. This is the mastermind. Charles Schwab rose not through inheritance, but through conviction. He joined with Carnegie not merely in labor, but in belief, and together they conceived what separately neither could have imagined. The alliance was the forge, and faith was the fire guard. Your associations as you would guard the treasury of your purpose. Let no voice draw near that diminishes your resolve form, your alliance with those who believe and build and speak the language of achievement. And if such companions are not yet near you, walk with the minds preserved in great books. Absorb their conviction until you are strong enough to assemble the living. Part 6, the great destroyer of doubt and the final charge. Indecision is where failure takes root, where fear breeds and purpose dissolves. A man without a decision is a man without direction, and without direction, there is no arrival. Doubt feeds on delay. The moment you hesitate, you have already begun to retreat. Decision is not the child of certainty, it is the parent of it. You do not wait until the path is clear. You declare your direction, and the path reveals itself as you walk. Abraham Lincoln knew ridicule, failure, and the weight of a nation in crisis. But he had made a decision, and that decision held him upright when everything around him bent. He did not require a clear road. He required only a fixed commitment. And from that commitment, one of the great destinies of human history unfolded. So I give you this final charge. Write your aim today. Speak it with the full force of your conviction act from the identity of the man who has already received it. Reject every fear by name. Let no doubt take a seat in your house. Move while afraid, speak while uncertain, build while the outcome is unseen. For the law does not honor the man who feels ready. It honors the man who moves. I am what I have resolved to become. I conduct myself in thought, speech, and posture as the man who already holds the prize. Nothing stands beyond reach when belief is absolute. Say it, carry it, live inside it, and begin this day. Not tomorrow, not when conditions improve. Now the world does not yield to the loudest or the most privileged. It yields to the most certain. Let that be you from this moment forward. Let that be the man you are and shall remain.